Hello everyone, this is the RCS channel. We're here to look at many of Nintendo's major accomplishments and product offerings from the past 50 to 60 years. I'll hope you'll be able to join me in this epic video journey. It's going to be a journey that will take us from the days when Nintendo only made the Hanafuda, which is a style of Japanese playing cards, used to play a variety of games, through to the many toys and various games, from the 60s and early 70s, many starting with the name, Ultra. The various light gun games from the period before Nintendo's first computer consoles, and then on to the onset of the very first home computer games that they are now synonymous for, starting with the color TV games of Japan, way back in the late 70s, through to the Game & Watches of the 80s, the Game Boy era, Famicom, and all the way up to the present day. I will actually show you each item, up close and personal, not just the normal stock photos of other channels, but the actual item. So, without more ado, let me present this week's episode. Welcome to our channel. Today in this episode we are going to be looking back at another treasure from Nintendo's past that was on sale way back in 1966. This will be a short story of how Nintendo's Ultra Hand toy came about and how it may have actually saved the future for Nintendo. In this episode we'll be looking at the very first toy inspired and designed by the great gaming visionary Gunpei Yokoi. If you are asking who? Then my friend, you're in the right place, because Gunpei Yokoi is arguably the most important person in Nintendo's long history. Gunpei Yokoi would go on to become Nintendo's most valuable player, by creating both the Game & Watch series, and the iconic Game Boy. Gunpei Yokoi was a factory line maintenance engineer for Nintendo's playing cards production plant, during the period when they were still mostly just manufacturing playing cards. He is credited as creating the Ultra Hand as a personal project out of boredom during his long shifts at the Nintendo factory. History has it that Nintendo's president Hiroshi Yamauchi was doing his regular tour of the factory and saw Gunpei Yokoi playing with a rudimentary prototype of what would later become known as the Ultra Hand. Intrigued by the concept, Hiroshi Yamauchi asked several questions of Gunpei Yokoi about his toy concept. Hiroshi Yamauchi as president was responsible for the shortening of Nintendo's name, removing the playing cards reference back in 1963. The new company was simply called Nintendo Company Limited. He had also secured additional business capital between 1963 and 1968 to expand the company's reliance on purely playing cards. Nintendo of this period had explored many diverse options, including a taxi company called Dia. They ventured into the love hotel industry and briefly had a chain of love resorts. A television network also followed and failed, as did a food company selling instant rice, which also saw limited success. In 1965, Nintendo had already dabbled with what can be best described as a proto-toy. These were the super cute little colored plastic television cased playing cards, called Ahone Trumps, or picture book playing cards in English. If interested in these, please follow the episode in the link below for further details, on Ahone Trumps episode 1 from RCS. But by 1966 it was time for Nintendo to produce toys and games for real and move into the Japanese toy industry. The novelty toy that Yamauchi saw Yokoi playing with would go on to become the Ultra Hand. This was an extendable mechanical plastic scissor arm device that would allow an object placed further away to be caught in its grasp and lifted. It could also then be retracted and retrieved by the operator. A management meeting ensued, and with the permission of Gunpei Yokoi, the president of Nintendo ordered his company to start manufacturing the new novelty. Yokoi later confessed that when Yamauchi summoned him, he went to that meeting with both dread and foreboding, as he was certain that he would be fired for playing around with the toy while at work. Instead, he found that the president was extremely interested in the product. After it was released, it sold an outstanding 1.2 million copies in Japan. The success of the product led Yamauchi to promote Yokoi and make him the manager of a new R&D studio, the first official research and development department Nintendo ever had. Nintendo sold each Ultra Hand, selling for 600 yen each during its initial launch in the holiday period of 1966. The Ultra Hand was Nintendo's largest success up to that time in the toy industry. They had developed several other toy products prior to 1966, such as the Rabbit Coaster and the picture book playing cards, but none had come close to achieving the same success as the Ultra Hand. Nintendo has subsequently referenced the Ultra Hand in several of its later video games. Nintendo also developed a Club Nintendo exclusive WiiWare game called Grill Off with Ultra Hand. That video game mostly focused on the Ultra hand to compete in the small game, a sort of homage to its roots. As previously mentioned, around the mid-60s, Nintendo had established a games department and was producing mostly traditional style board games. Some of these were using a recently acquired license to feature cartoon celebrities such as Disney characters, as well as Japanese TV figures including Ultraman. Nintendo, being already well known as a card manufacturer, had an early advantage entering to the toy industry. However, they were still seen as small fry in the general toy market when compared to other companies like Epic and Bandai. If you've enjoyed this short video, the facts and tidbits, please hit that like button, or subscribe, perhaps think about following us. We genuinely welcome comments and discussions, as well as donations which will help us keep this channel alive. Be the first to receive regular content and features, updates and competitions delivered directly to you. Finally, we will show you a photograph of a Nintendo item, but from an obscure angle or vantage point, and ask, what in the world? The next episode will show the big picture, and the answer to what the object was. Good luck, and see you soon to examine more treasures, not only random stock photography, but in the flesh, so to speak, up close and personal.